Hi everyone. So it's been 3.5 weeks since ended the water fast. So high time to give you an update on the results of the fast because I didn't do that in the last one. And it's taken me this long because I've had sort of an unusual reaction after the fast. I mentioned in the last video that I was very fatigued, feeling very weak, and it just feels like the last couple of days I'm starting to feel a little bit more embodied, a little bit more of my usual, sense of my body and strength in my body. So it's good to be coming out of that phase, although it had its own gifts in just helping me really slow down and take my time in the transition because it was such a deep experience, and just getting to that level of quiet and stillness is such a rare opportunity. Um, so that's the gift in it. It's forced me to slow down, not rush back into my life. And to be fair, I'm revamping my whole diet. Like, I'm eating completely differently. I'm learning I've learned how to make my own yogurt and kefir and cultured cream, and I'm eating a meat-based diet right now to heal the gut. It's not meat, or it's not bone broth, it's meat stock, and now I've moved into combining that with soup. So yeah, I have to have that meat broth every day, several times a day, in order to continue to, build my microbiome. But I wanted to list off for you the results of the fast. Some of the things are totally unexpected. So, some of you are aware that I fell when I was hiking last year, a year ago almost exactly. Well, I guess it was a bit closer. No, it was right after Christmas, I think. And I fractured my wrist in several places, and it had to be relocated. And then they advised surgery with a plate and pins, which never worked for me. The plate was too big, it was kind of sticking out. And after being in there for 8 months, I had another surgery where it was removed. So during the fast, well, before the fast, all of that trauma to my wrist and having this heavy cast and, like protection in and subconscious protection in the body led to a frozen shoulder. That has been hugely improved over the time of the fast. Like, the first 4 days on the fast, it intensified. So many things intensified. I have chronic headaches, that intensified. I had that 24 hours a day for 4 days, and then it lifted. And same with the pain in my shoulder. And it wasn't until weeks later that I noticed the range of motion was way improved. The scar from the surgery is like almost flesh colored now. It was really red when I started, with some, sort of weird little things, but it's looking pretty nice and clean, and the mobility of my wrist is great. The other thing that shifted unexpectedly is hot flashes, which I've had for 14 years. And one of the results of long-term water fasting is balancing your hormones. And like, over the last 3 weeks, I've had maybe 2 hot flashes as opposed to having multiple hot flashes a day. So that's a gift. And the biggest gift of all is the healing of leaky gut, which I was diagnosed with in 2011, which, even though I followed all the recommendations, all the diet recommendations, SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, which one kind of leads to the other and to autoimmune because you're basically malnourished, and your immune system suffers as well. So all of that, um, all of that is cleared up, which is really amazing. The nutritionist that was a consultant with us that we saw weekly over, I was there 6 weeks altogether because 4 weeks for the water fast, 2 weeks for refeeding. Um, when before I got to 21 days, she said a minimum of 14 days to clear SIBO, but definitely 21 days will clear SIBO. And I did 27. Finished on the 28th, the morning of the 28th day. But I did switch to broths, which keeps you in a fasted state. So I actually did technically another 4 days of fasting. It's just that then switched over to the refeeding quicker than it normally would because, yeah, the broths are part of the refeeding for me in particular. Um, so I know what everyone's wondering because that's why I did this thing, because I thought, I believed, and it does have the potential, water fasting long term, does have the potential of wiping out the cancer and eliminating the tumors. Some people, their tumors completely disappear because the phenomena of autophagy, which happens, some people say day 3, but I think it doesn't. I think Dr. Katie says day 7 is when it kicks in. Because you have to be in established ketosis, um, therapeutic ketosis, before the autophagy happens. But anyway, it's debatable. But autophagy is when the body starts to consume foreign proteins, tumors, anything diseased in the body, and uses it as fuel. So it flips a switch. And I spoke about this. Well, my main tumor seems to be, by appearance and by the felt sense, as though it's about the same size. Um, and I can still palpate the areas in my armpits. This one has never been palpable, but I am scheduled for an ultrasound next Tuesday, so coming up in 6 days. So I'll know a little more then about the state of the tumors. But the thing to remember is the tumors are a symptom of the imbalance. And I'm really on board with cancer is a metabolic disease. It's an imbalance in the body, and the tumors again are the symptom. So we could take out the symptom but still have to deal with the disease, and if you don't, then it's just going to keep recurring. So the fact that I'm now on a completely different page nutritionally, that my body's in a different state and able to actually take in nutrition, is huge. It's a huge benefit. And the other thing I have to remind myself of is that, of course we want the cancer to be gone. Like, it's potentially life-threatening, and I don't want the tumors in my body. And yet, this is a journey. It's a marathon, as they say at Hope for Cancer. It's a marathon, not a sprint. I think of it more like this is a healing journey, and the tumor reminds me to not just fall back into old habits, to not take life for granted. Like, it's a reminder that life is finite. This human life, we all have to go at some point. Something's gonna take us. And what are we here for? Like, there's nothing like having a condition that's, you know, threatening enough to put you in touch with what's really important. And I've been given so many gifts through this experience. And I spoke about this early on, and I would never tell somebody else that they need to look at their challenge this way, but I chose, before I even knew for sure that that first little lump that they found in the spring of 24 was definitely cancerous. I decided that the way I was going to look at this was that the universe is on my side, not punishing me, not giving me retribution or something, but that there's something for me in this diagnosis to go deeper, even though I've spent my whole adult life focused on healing my past and sharing what I've learned and helping to heal helping to offer other people things that have helped me to heal. This is a chance to go deeper. And I want to read you this because I just found this, I guess at the beginning of my water fast. I came across it in my notebook, and I'd written this in the summer of 2024. So I was looking at alternatives at that time before I opted for a lumpectomy later that summer. And this was when I was waiting to see a naturopath to get his recommendations on natural ways to try to reduce the cancer in my body. I'm choosing to see this situation as an opportunity to put my practice into full use. Breath work, yoga, visualization, mantra, bhakti, chanting, praying. To see it as the universe supporting me to go deep and uproot thoughts, habits, ideas that do not serve, and really love myself. To heal emotionally, mentally, spiritually. To drill deep and face my shadow. Where have I been denying life, love, goodness, light? Facing my fear of inadequacy, my fear of intimacy, my fear of being seen. To face the fear, indeed, the terror that my body holds from old childhood wounds, maybe wounds that are even older than childhood. And I would add now, because it became really clear in the following year, especially the last few months before the water fast, how much heaviness and grief I was carrying. And also potentially came in with that level of grief. And I've had some really profound experiences and insights around what that grief was about, and releases through this vision quest / water journey. So as a student of the yogic arts, that has really helped me to put into practice the non-resistance to what is. And just see this as an opportunity to go deeper into what else needs to be healed. So I'm going to talk a little bit about where I'm going now with this marathon of a journey. I actually spoke to my nurse at Hope for Cancer this week, which was really lovely. She was really happy to hear from me because I wasn't in touch over the 6 weeks. I was just wasn't available during the water fast and refeeding. And I told her, my Hope for Cancer nurse, who's in consultation with my Hope for Cancer doctor, assigned for me, like they're both assigned to me. They didn't work with me when I was there for the 3 weeks, but they were introduced to me before I left, and they've been my support people ongoing by phone. I told her that what I want to do is bring back online the Hope for Cancer protocols that I have, that don't tax my digestive system. So I'm not going to go back to taking the protein powder. It's, it's got things that are not part of the GAPS diet, which I'm following now, or a couple other powders, camu camu and greens powder, and a lot of the supplements, because it's just a lot. It's taxing to my digestive system and not necessarily going to support the trajectory that I'm on right now. But I realized that one of those treatments would cost over $1,000 a month. That's immunotherapy treatment. So I'm going to let that one go for now and take on mistletoe injections, which my naturopath just over the last month, while I was doing the water fast, got herself some training in. And I think motivated by my experience, which is amazing. I don't want to assume that, but it's awesome that she's got this training now, and she can show me how to do the mistletoe injections. I'll do it on my own, and it's a lot more affordable. I think it's something like $200 a month. And then I'm going to continue with the Hope for Cancer sonophotodynamic therapy. So that's like an ultrasound, and it's synergistic with a substance that activates the cancer cells to make them more susceptible to the light and sound. And then I'm going to add the other things that are synergistic to that, like infrared sauna, light pads, which I already have invested in, red light, already invested in, and there might be something else there, but I'm forgetting it right now. Oh, another sound therapy thing, and then the pranayama stuff that I know, the sound healing from my own yoga practice, mistletoe, and then there's high dose melatonin that I did before that I'm bringing back online, and high dose vitamin D. So yeah, I've got a plan, and I'm going to go with it as long as it's working. It's much more affordable and doable and practical. Oh, and the last one is something that I learned about during the water fast. Deuterium depleted water. I'll link the podcast. Katie interviews a scientist who's researched this, very knowledgeable about deuterium depleted water. And like mistletoe, it's been studied extensively in the States, or sorry, not in the States, in Eastern Europe, and proven to be very efficacious, and both of them can arrest the growth of the tumor, shrink the tumor, increase your life expectancy 4 to 5-fold for both of these treatments. So those are really good results. And I'm going to stop for there for now, and just tell you, solstice is coming up, and this is a really potent time in the world, and I feel like it's a really positive time and a great time to get quiet and go inward. any time, any year at winter solstice is a good time for that. So what I'm getting at is that annually I've been offering a solstice practice for, I don't know, maybe 10 years now, pretty consistently, if not every year. This year I want to do the same, and I need to make it unstressful for myself. So I'm going to offer an hour of self-care, nervous system regulation, nurturing, quiet time with some gentle breath work and sitting quietly. And I'm going to send some information recommending you set up your space so you make it special and ceremonial. And I'm going to offer this hour-long class for the solstice by donation to my GoFundMe. And you can come and join us when it's offered, which I haven't quite decided yet. Or you can purchase the recording, or, just sign up and I'll send you the recording. And if you aren't on an email list of mine, which is my newsletter, which I haven't sent out for months and months, but you should know if you're on my list. If you're not, send me an email at cedarudu, so CEDARUDU at shaw, SHAW.ca, and I will include you in the email information that I send out. I hope you can come, and thank you for listening to all this. It was a long one, but it's shorter than the first one I did. There's so much to say, and I have much more. Thanks anyway. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for all your support. It's so humbling and beautiful. I love you all. Om Shanti. Happy solstice if I don't see you soon.